Okay. New update. New update. New update. Sorry, I'm moving the mic. You're gonna have to. I'm so sorry. The update. The update. I didn't think it would have updated by now. If I'm going to be 100% with you, I thought the update was going to be in a few hours, but no, it's updated. So we're gonna do this. Oh, so she's a claymore? Oh, did she just punch? Is she just punching? Oh my god. My god. Give me a woman like this who just fucking beat me up. Holy shit. My god. I want a woman who can kill me. Jesus. The fact that she just goes with her fists. My god. I'm not gonna bother because she goes into standard if I remember correctly. So I don't need to worry about actually trying to get her now. Him, however. Him. So like it's because I prefer like the polearm like sword characters over the catalyst generally. On a general basis anyway. Oh, he also goes with his fists. Actually, while we're here, what artifacts? He uses the Gilded Dreams set. Staff of the Scarlet Sands. 888. So Gilded Dreams is his set. Nicola uses Deep Wood. What do they put? And yeah, they put Maiden Blood, which is what I use for her. Okay. So we need to get a Gilded set. Which luckily I was already kind of going after that set a little bit.
Your sins weigh upon your soul.
Come here, murder. Normally I would use multiple. I don't feel the need though. I do not feel the need. Now we have actually got a fair amount to do this with. Okay, claim. Do you? You don't. So I don't think I need to trial you. So these. I do want to try to get his weapon. Okay, so what is this? I don't quite... I don't understand what the... I don't quite get it. So am I meant to pick the one that I do want? Like, what does it mean? Do I pick the one that I do want? Yeah, okay, so you pick the one of your choice. So I want to go after... Okay. Well, first... Oh, not a bad thing, considering I do need her. To get her constellation up, I do use her, so not a bad thing. Okay. My god, okay, well, I also have her, so... She's gonna be a C6 by the end of this, I swear to god. Because Barbara, you get C1, and then Kolai is now C2. That's not what I wanted. Gonna wish again. Fuck yes! Okay. I'm gonna be so upset if it's not him. It's not him! I'm so upset by this. You don't even understand. I don't want you. I'm gonna cry. Someone's gonna get the wrath of my sadness. God. I don't like you.
When your heart is set on...
I don't want to hear your voice. I'm so upset. God. God, life is really telling me to build you, huh? I'm so angry. Oh, right, hold on. We may as well, hold on. Yep. Cheers. 3 hours until it resets, and then we can do the Spiral Abyss. Actual tears. God. I lost my 50. What? Well, that's a lie. Is it not anyone? Invite character. Who can I invite? Well, I can't. Who? None of these people are new for me to invite. I'm angry. God. I'm so sad. We might as well do this and then we can do Ganyu's quest. Story quest. Because that will gather me more. We can just go to the story quest. We can just do that because that will give me Primo Gems so we can do some more wishing. I don't know how I'm meant to do that. All of the challenges for that one. Yeah, I don't care. So upset. Upsetty spaghetti. My god.
Our mission begins.
Okay. This is good for me.
You stand condemned. Surrender.
Okay, we can do this. Heal. Play the card. Yeah, we're fine. We don't need to do that. And then we can end the round. God, it's really saying heal, huh? You know, at least the good thing about having Barbara in my party, it means at the very least I'm making her stronger while rolling, trying to wish for I'm so upset I can't.
Judgment is upon you.
How about this? We'll swap. Let's swap to her.
help.
No, she should be able to take the next attack, then we can heal. We could actually... We'll do this one.
Fire hazard.
Okay.
test 6308.
Okay. Heal and round. Because they weren't able to do anything to hurt me. And both of them are going to get healed. Wow.
Animal test 6308. No, my sword.
Freeze!
Okay, well... They shouldn't be able to do anything to attack me. Okay. That's really saying use CYNO, huh? Oh, just meant to re-roll that. That's fine.
Ready to do my utmost. Through me, justice is served. Nowhere to run.
Gonna get the first turn, but it's unfortunate, but... Oh! I'll still get the first turn. Fuck you. I'm sorry. God, the constant healing from her is going to be a pain in my ass, isn't it? Now, we really need to do something for CYNO, because otherwise he's going to die, and I would rather he doesn't. Especially considering I'm getting so many dice for him. It's like, factors 4 plus 1. It's fine. You know what? This is fine. I'm so sorry, CYNO. I am literally sacrificing you for this. We're gonna go swirl.
Has failed.
Stand Time for a light show.
Ooh, ow. Well, this should be fine. Because I should still be able to do swirl, right? It's not going to kill her. Oh, never mind. I won't be able to do swirl.
Adjustments.
This will be interesting.
Oh, that's not going to be that useful for me. Oh, I thought I clicked. Okay. It's fine. Because this also heals me.
Cool it.
I have taught you everything I know.
Which anything to give myself a little bit of extra health is super important.
Here come the fireworks.
This is the only thing that's gonna get me through this.
Freeze!
Oh, this will help.
I'm betting the last one was not losing characters. Oh no, it's fucking achieving victory within 6. I can't do that. Leave me alone. J. Wait, hold on. Why are these all... I guess it's because they're... Oh, right, yeah, because... Completing Archon quests... give you a fate. So we could just do Archon, the next Archon quest. But they're so long in duration. Okay, it's fine. I said I wanted to do the story quests. Story quests do give you primo gems, and I wanted to get the story quests done. You could have given me D-Luke and you gave me her. God, out of everyone. It was literally percentage. It's literally a 50-50 chance of getting. And I lost. I'm so upset. I'm grumpled about this. You don't even understand. I've never been so upset to see a woman in my life.
It's shocking how much work there is to do, even for the 3 of us.
And she's been handling it alone all along. The Qixing secretary clearly isn't an ordinary person. It's so frustrating.
Huh? You're...
Hello.
Aren't you Ningguang's servants? How come you're here?
We are Miss Ningguang's private secretaries, not servants.
Have you seen Miss Ganyu, Traveler?
It has been several days since Ganyu left for Joyun Karst. She's the general secretary of the Liyue Qixing. We've only taken over her responsibilities until she gets back.
Why'd she go to Junior Cast?
Even though the Qixing have made peace with the Adepti after the latter had denounced Liyue, they still want to pay their respects to the Illuminated Ones. They commissioned Ganyu as their envoy to deliver a letter to Julian Karst and bring the Adepti the latest news about the crisis. Still, Ganyu should have been back to her usual responsibilities by now, but she's disappeared without a trace.
Is that so? Maybe Ganyu just took a little detour.
I doubt it.
Who can blame her after working so hard?
I'm afraid it's not very likely. Ever since we met Ms. Ganyu, she's been nothing but the most conscientious person in all of Liyue. Even when it's time for her annual leave, Ms. Ganyu stays on duty at Yuehai Pavilion saying there is still so much to do. She couldn't possibly be using her mission as an excuse to slack off.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Oh, Paimon sees how it is. But she's half Adeptus. She wouldn't get in trouble, right? Why do you look so upset?
It's because of this absurd workload of hers. When we first heard the three of us would be taking over for Miss Ganyu, we thought it would simply be a matter of changing our work environment.
We couldn't have imagined that Miss Ganyu's daily workload far exceeds what the three of us are used to doing.
The Adeptus lineage is truly remarkable.
Speaking of Julian Karst, Traveler, I've heard that you can go in and out of there as you please.
Of course! We've been there lots of times!
Ah, that's good news. Could you go to Julian Karst and find Miss Ganyu for us? Preferably before we collapse under this workload.
I'll do it. Lives are at stake here, clearly.
We're saved. I remember Miss Ganyu said that she'd be visiting Cloud Retainer's abode. You might as well start looking for her there.
Ah, so gonna need food, I
It's
see.
about time she came back to work. Otherwise,
No, perhaps we should go to Lady Ningguang first and bring up our overtime pay again.
We can do this. Also, I'm wondering what's up with Ganyu, because, yeah, she doesn't seem like the person to slack off.
So Ganyu left to visit Cloud Retainer. Doesn't she live in Mel Outso? We should hurry up. Paimon hopes we can find her there.
Okay. We've been here a couple of times. Just a few times, you know? I've also was here before I was technically allowed to. In, like, law purposes. Oh. This place is both, like, very, like, mystical and wonderful, and also kind of ominous, so... I have an interesting relationship with this area. Oh!
The person standing over there. That's Ganyu! We finally found her!
Good thing we didn't have to go looking around ages for her. Hello.
Ganyu! Here you are!
You two. I did not expect to meet you here. Is it official or private affairs that bring you here? I shouldn't. I have left the human world. Please contact the Yuehai Pavilion regarding matters concerning the commercial port.
Left the human world?
Huh? You don't want to be the Qixing secretary anymore? But they're all waiting for you to come back!
That's why you're here? You want me to come back? I'm afraid you came here in vain.
What? Did something happen?
The clouds fold and unfold. The tide ebbs and flows. It was meant to be. When the Adepti entrusted humans with overseeing Liyue, I knew it was only a matter of time until I had to leave. My Adepti blood makes me unwelcome in Liyue Harbor. I delivered the letter and came back to Liyue Harbor, only to discover that I had been replaced by Baiwen, Baishao, and Baishe. Perhaps that mission of mine was just a pretext to remove me.
Oh.
Since the Qixing gave me a chance to leave with dignity, I decided to be tactful as well.
I believe there's been a huge misunderstanding
I
here.
appreciate your kindness, but there's no need for your words of comfort.
It's not.
After 1,000 years away, I came back to Juyeon Karst. Looking at the clouds floating among the mountains brings me peace of mind. I feel better now.
But
They didn't replace you.
Disturbs the peace of these mountains.
Hello.
Cloud Retainer, we're terribly sorry. We just...
One merely jests. One felt your presence the moment you set foot upon this land.
Hello.
Wow, you Adepti really are impressive.
Come here to chat about the old times with Ganyu. It looks like you get along quite well.
Chat about the old times?
Ah, a matter leaves you at an impasse then. Not to worry. One is exceptional at seeking avenues for conversation. One has been one's own companion in idle talk for many a year. Ah, yes. Since you are Ganyu's friends, tales from her youth shall one apprise you of, perhaps?
God, I love that.
Cloud Retainer.
Nothing to be ashamed of. You were so cute as a child. One is most certain that your friends would like to hear of it.
God, it's like a mother with her child. I am a bit curious indeed.
Oh, Paimon wants to hear it.
Little Ganyu loved when the
Oh.
horns on the top of her head were caressed. When one was still taking care of her, one was pestered most often to touch her horns.
Aw.
She was elsewise loath to sleep.
Wow.
Plump she was back then. Why, when she stumbled while we ascended the mountain, she would roll down to the bottom like a little ball. The day
Aww.
Ganyu bumped into a pilgrim was the first time she saw a real human in the flesh. So fearful she was that she hid in a rock's cleft for 2 days and nights. One found her wailing of a monster she had seen.
I don't just love her.
Cloud Retainer? Forget it. It's about time for my training. I will take my leave.
She's blushing. I think you upset her.
Ah, one's intention was merely to relieve the awkward tension.
And you did the exact opposite. Impressive.
Be that so? Huh. But returning to Ganyu, most gladdened one is of your arrival. One cannot help but feel that remaining in Jueyun Karst shall not be good for her. One will tell you more about her, if you should permit it. Most benevolent among all Adepti are the Qilin. They drink only spring water and eat only whole grain. But perhaps the mountainous dwellings of Adepti in Jueyun Karst might be too lonely for her human side. Under moonlight did one see her last. She stood by the precipice's edge, and upon the mist-veiled mountains she gazed. Her thin figure was immersed in the vast sea of clouds. One noticed her loneliness, and sought to convince her to go back to the human world. But just then, she said thus.
Liyue Harbor feels even lonelier than Juyeon Karst. When I look at the sea of clouds in Juyeon Karst, I merely feel the loneliness of a solitary cloud gazer. When I step into the sea of people in Liyue, I feel the loneliness of an inhuman that doesn't belong in the human world.
Oh.
One did, by chance, hear this much of Ganyu's thoughts. Alone, she will find her predicament hard to conquer. One hopes that you will accompany her.
Oh, Retainer's right. We can't leave Ganyu depressed like that. Besides, Liyue hasn't given up on her. She's got it all wrong.
Yeah, they just needed to
Anyways,
keep working.
what's that training Ganyu was talking about?
She has sought to reclaim her Adeptus side since returning to Joyun Karst. At her behest, one has organized training for her to achieve that end.
She should be in the southern part of Mount Outsong right now, preparing for the trial.
Huh. Is that so? Let's go take a look then.
Yep. Okay. Hold on, you. Feels like she doesn't belong anywhere. That's the feeling. Hello.
So here you are, Ganyu.
Why did you come here?
Want to keep you company?
Humans should not remain in the realm of Adepti for too long. Considering the kindness you have shown me, I can let you stay for the Adeptus training.
Yay!
This trial was prepared by Cloud Retainer. Its goal is to help me feel like an Adeptus again. The training is much to her signature style. I hope it won't make it seem like she is too unaware of the abilities of others.
Is it difficult?
No, I'm aware of your strength, Traveler. The power hidden within you is not inferior to mine. If you're ready, we shall begin the training.
Oh yeah, okay. How do we do this? Oh, okay.
Next on the agenda...
Oh. I see. Hold on. How do we... Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm taking a moment to figure out what the fuck... Well, you can't put a Sealy there. I didn't mean to do that! I didn't mean to do that!
There's a lot of gliding around. It does feel like something Cloud Retainer would come up with.
Yeah, it does. Out of all the things. A lot of gliding around does seem in Cloud Retainer style, huh?
Wow, Ganyu's a really awesome shooter.
If you could see through the eyes of an Adeptus, you wouldn't be so surprised.
I mean, I'm doing the shooting, but yeah. Ganyu's really good. I missed. I fell. Yay. Okay. My God. Oh, I didn't realize I acted both of them at once.
We've completed the task. What do you think?
The question is, do I want to be like, kind of going, maybe yeah, perhaps I'd make a good Adeptus. I'm not bad.
I agree. You possess many qualities similar to those of Adepti, despite having none of their blood.
Ganyu, what were you planning to do once your training was over?
The training's not over yet. The part prepared by Cloud Retainer is only the first trial.
Huh? So there are more trials prepared by other Adepti?
Is Mountain Shaper?
No. The only Adeptus who can unlock my true potential.
So is it Moon Carver?
Who is it?
Conqueror of demons.
Shell!
Huh. So it's Shell. That cold-hearted loner? How come he's prepared a trial for you?
How interesting.
I found him unapproachable at first, too. But I believe that being able to face him is an important part of my homecoming. He's already waiting for me. Come along if you're interested.
Absolutely, I'm interested. I love Shell.
Of course we are. Let's go.
I always love to see Shell. You do not have to task me twice. I love that dude. Hold on. Is that a shrine? Do I have a thing to open that shrine? Because if I do, I want to go get that. And then we can go down and talk to Shao, because I love him. I'm still quite upset I didn't get him when I was wishing for him, but the other banner, but you know, it's fine. I'm only slightly salty. You know, just how like I don't have CYNO and I lost the 50-50. Fuck off. No one likes you. I don't. Okay. I don't care. I'm being beaten up. Imagine like, oh yeah, come with us to go speak to Shao, and I've just come like beaten and bruised with arrows sticking out of me. Him. Hello. God, I love him. He's great. Hello.
You're half an hour late. I see you still haven't abandoned the wrongful ways of humankind.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I had a meeting with Cloud Retainer. I
don't need your explanations and don't require any mutual understanding between us. I'm just helping you with your training. That's all.
Shell is such a strict teacher.
I wouldn't expect any of
You're
this.
neither an Adeptus nor a human, always treading the line between the two worlds. It must create a lot of confusion. Instead of explaining yourself to me, you should face your true self.
I have nothing to hide.
Seems like he understands Ganyu quite well.
The body and the mind are one. If something worries your mind, your body can help you find a solution. The trial I've prepared for you will explore the true potential of your body.
Yes. I'm ready.
Okay. Complete his trial. So what is this? It's this? Commence the trial.
Trial's begun. Paimon can feel it in the air. Even the weather's changed.
What's the hurry? Cool it! Freeze! This moment will be frozen in time.
She's gonna use water. She's not ice, is she? I don't think she is. Anyway, she might be. Hold on. Is she?
No touching.
Oh, she is.
We're way behind schedule. Blaze over. Access denied. agenda. Born of ice and frost. Access denied. All hail.
Yeah, she's actually quite cool. Her abilities. God, slimes in a bow is the worst thing.
No touching.
Oh my god.
Born of ice and frost. This is long overdue. No touching. Access denied. No touching.
Oh my god.
Calculate? Yeah, I can fix this.
I don't like using food on like trial characters, but I don't want her to die, so...
Blaze over. Next on the agenda. Access denied. Come on, focus. For Rex
Here we go.
Lapis.
Oh, she says for Rex Lapis.
No touching. Born of ice and frost. This is long overdue.
Easy enough. She nearly died, but it's okay. Hello, Shao.
I've completed your trial.
You don't have to report back to me. Seeking other people's validation won't benefit your training. Only you can evaluate the result of this trial. You'll progress faster that way.
Understood.
Xiao always has such strong opinions.
That lone wolf is truly admirable. I love him.
From tomorrow on, I'll start raising the difficulty of your training, so you'll have to...
I have to do what?
Another one of those pesky visitors.
God.
I'll leave him to you, Ganyu. It's also a part of your training.
There you go. Interesting.
Pesky visitor? So even here there are those that Xiao can't deal with?
Oh yeah, it's okay. God.
Oh heavens! Blessed be Rex Lapis.
Oh my
I've
god.
finally come upon the Adepti. Are all of you the Adepti of this mountain?
No. No, we're not.
Great. My name's Sin Chung.
He didn't
I
even
ask for your
answer.
merciful blessings, O Adepti. I beg of you, please grant me luck, wealth, and a good career.
Oh my god.
Oh, so it's a pilgrim.
I can see why Shao finds his type troublesome. Yeah, no, I can see it.
He can handle any battle, but talking to strange humans is a different story, huh?
The humans are difficult to talk to.
I'm also one of the Adepti. You can say that I'm an Adeptus in training.
You need to just shoo him. Shoo him away. So materialistic. Just bothering the Adepti for your own greed. My god.
Perfect. I didn't come in vain then. Although you sound a bit half-hearted. Doesn't matter. What blessings can you grant me?
Get out.
Wow, straight to the point, huh?
Dear Pilgrim, you shouldn't jump to conclusions. Adepti don't help every pilgrim for free.
For free? Do you mean that you charge people for the blessings of the Adepti?
That's not what I meant. What I'm trying to say is that Everything should be earned through hard work and earnest living. It would be unfair to other people if you got everything you wanted for no reason.
Hold on. I've heard this all before. You're just like my old man, always nagging me.
Your father must have experienced it firsthand. The lives of the common folk are riddled with hardships, but are also full of joy. A person of your age should focus on work and family, instead of chasing after fairy tales.
Are you a real Adeptus? Why do you speak and behave like us city folk? You sure you're not one of those swindlers who pose as an Adeptus to cheat people out of their money?
He just can't take criticism.
Enough. Doesn't matter if you're a real Adeptus or not. You're useless. I'm leaving.
Jesus. Fucking rude.
Nobody's stopping you.
That's nice.
Don't let that guy ruin your mood.
He was a fucking dick.
It's not his behavior. The things he said, he was right. I thought that coming back to Jueyun Karst and devoting myself to training would make me feel like an Adeptus again. But being questioned by him made me realize that
Come back to Liyue Harbor with us.
But I'm unwelcome in Liyue Harbor. As an Adeptus,
We told you it was a misunderstanding.
True. Just believe us.
All right. I'll go with you to Liyue Harbor. That said, I still trust my initial judgment. If I'm proven right, I'll return to Jueyun Karst once again.
It's a step in the right direction. Let's go.
Yep. When I say lies an evil dragon, do not... What now? There's an evil dragon? Just... okay. We're just gonna move past that. Interesting.
I'm still...
Come on, Ganyu. We're almost there. You don't want to turn back now, do you?
I suppose you have a point. It would be quite impolite of me to leave the two of you now.
That's right. Where do you want to go first, then?
I've spent too much time in the mountains. The first thing that comes to my mind is the sea. Let's go for a walk in the port.
Yeah.
Happy to come with.
Stroll around the wharf, and now I only know what that is now due to the mission with dealing with Tusa. Literally, I had no idea that was called the wharf, and then we went down to the wharf with Tusa, and Paimon started talking about it. Currently I have like a 10-hour video uploading onto YouTube of me just playing Genshin because it's little footage I forgot to upload.
The sound of the waves in this familiar port. The smell of the sea breeze makes me nostalgic.
Ganyu, you didn't leave Liyue for that long. Why do you look so moved?
Well, I used to be so busy. I haven't taken a stroll around here in a long time.
Huh. That's true. Ganyu seemed to be working all the time.
Well, when I think about my time here, I've spent most of it behind a desk filing documents. It put me in a certain mood, similar to the one I felt during my training in Jueyun Karst, in fact.
Is that? It is! It's Lady Ganyu. I wouldn't have thought I'd meet you here. You were always so terribly busy.
Lady Ganyu? Why are you calling her that?
Bit awkward. I'm not gonna go with the little Miss Ganyu because I feel weird calling her that.
Allow me to introduce Uncle Tian. He is...
That's all right. Just tell them the truth. They have done so much for Leo after all, and I am the one who has yet to introduce myself.
Uncle Tian is a member of the Liyue Qixing, the Tianshu.
The Tianshu.
What? This grandpa is a member of the Qixing?
Come on!
The same rank as Ningguang?
Hush now. I must ask for your discretion concerning my identity. Fishing in the port and strolling about are the greatest pleasures of my life. I have no wish to be followed around by those armed guards.
That's fair enough, honestly.
In most people's eyes, I'm just a forgetful and wordy old man.
Uncle Tian is too modest. He's been around for a long time. There's no one who can replace a person of such noble character.
Don't judge a book by its cover, they say.
What an honor to receive such high praise from Lady Ganyu herself. I guess I must have done something right over the last, however many decades.
Uncle Tian, please. A person of your standing should really stop calling me Lady Ganyu.
My apologies. It's not intentional, just a habit from my younger days. Thank you for looking after me when I first ascended to my position in the Qixing.
Oh, so you've been friends for many decades now, huh?
Oh, I was just fulfilling my duties as the Qixing secretary. It's nothing worthy of your gratitude.
Talking about secretaries, I don't know if I should bring it up. Ganyu, I believe you know my daughter, Huixin. She seems to be a bit troubled recently.
Yes, she works at Yuehai Pavilion and she's my junior. How can I help her?
I don't know myself, really. She's all grown up now and doesn't like to ask for my help. May I trouble you to meet her at Yuehai Pavilion? She just needs a bit of guidance.
With pleasure. Solving the Qixing's problems has always been in my job description.
She's back in character, just like that, huh?
As expected of a Qixing member, he's actually helping Ganyu.
Let's move then, to Yuehai Pavilion.
Yeah, getting her to talk to someone. Okay, hold on. There's something that I want to try. So how do I do this? Because I'm looking at a wish. Okay. History, keep it open. Done. What's next? Okay, press Win R. Copy this. Paste. Hit OK. Sync now. Sync now? Okay. So there's a wish calculator. It has not updated. Yeah, that's not right. I want to figure out my pity. Okay, so it's every non-5 since the last 5-star item. So I've got no pity then. Right? That's what it is. Because I gained... Oh, well, I mean, I guess it would technically be... What? Wherever... I don't think... Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have updated yet. I see. Whatever. I'm so upset. Yeah, then we can do the very least dealing with the Spiral Abyss will, when it resets, will be good enough for me, because that should get me a few wishes at least. Maybe enough for another 10.
Miss Ganyu, it's been too long. I don't know why, but seeing you brings me a sense of peace in these chaotic times.
Indeed, it has been a while, Huixin. I'm flattered, but aren't you exaggerating a little? I heard that you've encountered some problems and came to see if I could be of some help.
My father asked you to come, didn't he? Abusing his status as a member of the Qixing to trouble you.
Don't worry. I'm always happy to help a junior colleague from Yuehai Pavilion.
Ganyu's not only a competent secretary, but also a great mentor.
So, what can you tell me about the problem?
Ugh, where should I start? I discovered something strange while organizing tax records. There are obvious irregularities in the tax declarations of 2 stores, Second Life and Wanyo Boutique. However, whether I question the shopkeepers or check their accounts, I can't seem to make any progress with my investigation. Without any evidence, my hands are tied.
I see. It's not uncommon for merchants to be blinded by greed.
Well, is there any solution you can advise?
Naturally. I've dealt with similar issues hundreds of times. Give me a moment to consider the best approach in this scenario.
That's thousands of years of work experience with you.
Let's approach it this way then. Your enemy knows you best.
Huh?
If I remember correctly, Second Life and Wanyo Boutique are old business rivals, competing for market share due to their similar wares. In that case...
In that case... Ah! I know what you mean, Miss Ganyu.
Oh, you want them to expose each other?
Exactly. Let's start with Wanyo Boutique. The owner's name is... Bolai, isn't it?
Yes, you're right. Follow me, please.
Yeah, if they're rivals, and yeah, they'll throw the other one under the bus. You know what I think, as I think about it, there's so many sayings that if I was in Genshin, I would say it, and then everyone would be like, what the fuck are you on about? What's a bus? I don't think I have once gone down here the normal way. What is even the normal way down here?
Aha! We meet again, traveler. And you must be from the Yuehai Pavilion? I suppose you're about to place a big order. I'd be honored to offer you my wares.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Bolai. Wanyo Boutique's credit is not sufficient to accept orders directly from Yuehai Pavilion. Should we need to place such an order, we would certainly go to Second Life instead.
What? Second Life? Ugh. That rascal Dongsheng. He's stealing all of my customers.
Well, Second Life's credit has always been excellent, and based on their tax records, their business is thriving.
Tax records? Thriving?
Huh. Is there anything you'd like to share with us, Mr. Bolai?
Don't let that rascal fool you. I know his dirty tricks best. If you don't believe me, show me his tax records. I'm sure I'll find something fishy in there.
You know Second Life's business so well?
Of course. Ugh, their every transaction makes my blood boil. I'd rather lose money myself than see that rascal make some.
Is that how competitors behave?
Well then, please look over this tax record. We'll review Second Life's credit based on your observations.
Oh, of course. I'll read very, very carefully. Line by line and word by word.
Wow. That is so fucking petty. I love it.
Here, I found it. That exquisite wooden furniture set he bought from Fanmu Carpenters at the beginning of the year. Ugh, he even flaunted it in front of me. Look at the tax record. Not a word about that furniture. And he kept all the profit for himself.
I see. He must have gotten rid of all the documents related to this transaction. No wonder there was no trace of it.
I told you so. Just as I expected. Ugh, I can't wait to watch him squirm.
But, Ms. Ganyu, despite all this, can't he just flat out deny ever making this transaction?
He might have destroyed all the evidence, but I believe the supplier, Fanmu Carpenters, might still have some proof of it.
Aha, you're right. Master Lu from Fanmu Carpenters must still have the invoice. He wouldn't be swayed by the likes of Dongsheng.
I hope so. Let's go to Fanmu Carpenters. It should be near Chingsa Village. Thank you for shining a light on this case, Mr. Balai.
Oh, please, please, that's nothing. I just hope you won't be lenient with him once you find the evidence. That's the best way to show your gratitude.
I love how he's...
I'm afraid I can't go to Chingsa Village.
It's all right, Weishin. You can stay in Liyue Harbor and finish your work. Leave the rest to us.
Ah, that's so considerate of you. Still, I'm sorry to trouble you like that.
It's really no problem at all. Okay, Chingsa Village. My god. You know, it may have been quicker to just do an Archon quest, my god. I forget how long these quests are sometimes. At the very least, it'll be quick to gain a lot of Primo Gems during the Spiral Abyss. But I just gotta wait another few hours for that. Hello.
Ah, welcome, welcome. How can an old carpenter like me help you? I'm usually happy to take new apprentices, but I'm afraid I can't take too many at once. But I'm always around if you're keen for a chat.
Chingsa really is full of lonely old people.
Hey, I heard that, Flying One.
I'm sorry.
Master Lu, we've just come to see you and ask you some questions.
Don't worry, I know. You're from the Yuehai Pavilion, right? Why would the Qixing care about an old man like me? Well, whatever. You said that you want to ask me something. Ask away, then.
You're very direct, Master Lu. I will be plain. We're looking for proof that Dongsheng from Second Life has been evading taxation. Dongsheng bought some furniture from you at the beginning of the year. Do you still have the invoice or any other record of that transaction?
Oh, it's about Second Life. It was a big order. How could I forget?
Sure enough, Mr. Balai was right. Could we perhaps borrow that invoice? We won't have any evidence to bring against Dongsheng otherwise.
Of course you can. But I'm not so sprightly.
Oh my god, I fucking...
What's that supposed to mean?
I I only do my woodwork and display finished wares here at Fanmu Carpenters. As for old documents and such, I keep them all in a warehouse west of here. But some troublemakers have recently moved there, invading my warehouse. I tried to drive them away, but they just wouldn't leave. Since you need that invoice anyway, it may be best to get it from the warehouse yourself. And while you're at it, you can teach those louts a lesson.
So that's what happened. I see.
I'll leave you to it then. I need to get back to work.
I find it so funny when it goes silent and everyone just watches someone walk off.
Find the invoice. Time for us to show our stuff in a fight.
Wait, I think I saw one of those troublemakers. Ah, over there.
Oh, Paimon sees them too. It's one of the Fatui.
What is he trying to do?
They must be plotting something against Liyue Harbor.
Maybe they're the scoundrels who invaded Master Lu's warehouse.
Shouldn't we observe him for a while first?
Ever since Osial attacked the harbor, the Fatui's reputation in Liyue has reached rock bottom. We won't cause a serious diplomatic crisis by getting into some small scuffle with the Fatui within our borders.
I kind of meant
You need
we
not
could see
worry.
what he's doing.
Besides, I can already feel their malicious intentions. Consider it my intuition as the secretary of the Qixing.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's go teach him a lesson.
Yeah, let's go beat him up.
You'll get frostbite.
Don't get frostbite.
You'll get frostbite. Don't get frostbite.
Cool it.
It's time for a flash-free chill to the bone.
Let it rain.
Cool it.
Closer to set. Frozen food.
Oh my god. This bitch. Bitch, get off me.
This moment will be frozen in time.
Oh.
Oh, you scoundrels.
I
Hello.
think you've had enough. About time you tell us your plan. No?
Plan? What plan?
See,
I just taught you a lesson, but clearly you weren't paying attention.
This is why I said we should have looked before just attacking.
If you don't spill whatever you're scheming against Liyue, we'll be forced to use harsher methods.
I think we were harsh enough. I think we were harsh enough.
I'm telling the truth. There's no scheme.
If you're telling the truth, then why would you, a member of the Fatui, suddenly appear on the outskirts of Qingce village?
Fine. If you really want to know, then...
Was he gonna pick like the flowers,
I was about
please?
to.
About to what?
Pick berries over there.
I must admit, I didn't expect you to come up with such a silly excuse.
I don't know, I would.
Not an excuse. I rarely have a free morning, and I heard that there were fresh berries in this area. Think about it. I'm here alone, and Qingce Village is nothing more than a retirement spot for old people. What could I be scheming anyway?
Judging by how he's looking at us, it does seem like he feels like he's the victim here.
So you have nothing to do with the occupation of Fanmu Carpenter's warehouse?
Fanmu Carpenter's warehouse? Where's that? I swear, I only came here to pick berries, that's all.
So it wasn't the Fatui who took over Master Lu's warehouse after all.
We might have blamed him for nothing.
I also feel that he's telling the truth.
Whoopsie!
I misjudged the situation and offended you. My apologies. Our, our exchange only represents my personal views. If you wish it so, you can file a complaint to the Ministry of Civil Affairs.
Exchange? This woman, she's clearly aware that the Ministry of Civil Affairs wouldn't side with us, Fatui.
Yes, precisely. As an alternative, you may try to solve this problem with force once again.
Paimon's in!
Darn you. How can you wear that solemn face while bullying me like this?
What's your choice, then?
I'll get back to my berries.
That's a good choice.
What a bittersweet ending.
I made a laughingstock out of myself. I might have spent too much time away from work. My intuition is not as accurate as it used to be.
No worries. It's always nice to teach the Fatui a lesson.
Let's keep moving towards Master Lu's warehouse. Our goal
She's
is
pretty.
to get the invoice, after all.
What's the hurry?
So this is the warehouse. Seems like those troublemakers were nothing more than a few hair churls. Let's show them what we got.
Yeah, I will in a second. Give me a minute. Yoink. I also want to take a trip back to Sumeru at some point. See if I can clear out some more of the withering zones.
Freeze. Don't push your luck.
I couldn't move. It's a little rude. Oh my god.
What's the hurry? Don't get frostbite.
Let the show be.
Freeze.
I... Oh, are these also occupants I gotta get rid of? Hold on.
Dodge this. Freeze. Dodge this.
We had wandered away that I didn't realize I actually had to fight these guys as well. Why would you put your... Oh, for God's sake.
Let's dance.
Oh, so sorry. Freeze. Dodge this.
No one escapes my...
Don't get frostbite.
There we go.
Cool it.
I'll protect us.
Dodge this. What's the hurry?
I'm back.
All clear. Quick, let's look around for the invoice. This one is an invoice from One Min Restaurant. Some dining. This one is Wangsheng Funeral Parlors. Oh, so they make coffins too. This one is.
Okay. Perfect.
Ms. Ganyu, you're back. I hope it wasn't too much trouble rushing about like that.
I promise to help you and I'll keep my word. Nothing to worry about. Look, it's the invoice for the transaction between Second Life and Fanmu Carpenters. We've brought it back.
Oh, thank you so much. Now we can solve this problem.
Agreed. How about we go to Second Life and have a nice chat with the owner?
Have a nice chat. I want toast and egg. That's what I want right now. So about those tax records.
Isn't it Huixin from the UI Pavilion? I remember you. I told you that all of my transactions are included in the records. My tax declarations are scrupulous as well. I do hope that my business won't be affected by any groundless accusations.
Ah, they're not groundless.
Groundless accusations? Mr. Dongsheng, you seem very sure of yourself. But I sincerely advise that you cease this behavior immediately. It is liable to affect the fine you'll need to pay in the end.
No. I'm an honest merchant. I would never get involved with any fraudulent sources of profit.
Not so confident now, are you?
Haven't I made myself clear? Mr. Dongsheng, you've already been proven guilty of tax evasion. I just came here to see if you'd confess.
What? Proven guilty? How come? That's impossible. Absolutely absurd.
He's talking without rhyme or reason. Must be crumbling under Ganyu's pressure. Time for the finishing blow!
Mr. Dongsheng, can you tell me what this is?
It's an invoice from Fanmu Carpenters.
Yeah.
I'm Master Lu. I didn't...
Do you admit to tax evasion? This transaction was absent from the tax record.
I didn't think you'd find out. I didn't leave a single trace.
Except from...
Indeed. We wouldn't have found out if it weren't for Mr. Boalai's aid.
Balai? That imp from Wanyo Boutique? So he told on me behind my back. He's got his own share of dirty laundry.
Oh? Mr. Dongsheng, I'd like to hear a little more about this dirty laundry. Would you care to elaborate? I don't think you'll need my guidance for what comes next.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Ganyu. I can take it from here.
That's good.
I must say, you're truly impressive, Ms. Ganyu. Your enemy knows you best. To think, you came up with this plan and executed it so masterfully.
It's actually one of your father's, the Tianshu's, old tricks. I just took some inspiration from it.
My father?
Pitting your opponent against their enemies and watching them drag each other down from an advantageous position, that's how Uncle Tian managed to keep his position in the Qixing secure for so many years. I figured that as Uncle Tian's daughter, you'd naturally grasp your father's strategies. So, I decided to use one of your father's tricks and play it out for you to see.
I can see it now. Clearly, I still have a lot to learn about my father. I'm really grateful, Ms. Ganyu. You're the kindest mentor I've ever had.
Aww.
Thank you.
Ganyu solved both Huixin's work and family problems. One stone.
Paimon has no shame.
You've helped me so much. You must allow me to repay your kindness.
That's not necessary. No need to be so serious. It was nothing, really.
Then let me treat you to a meal. The Traveler and Paimon are invited as well. I appreciate your help.
Alright, come on, Ganyu. Just say yes. Let's eat.
Paimon, don't forget your manners.
Oh, come on. It's just a meal.
Manners?
If it's just a meal, there's no reason for me to decline. It'll be my pleasure, Huixin.
The
Actually,
glare.
I've already booked Senor Kiosk. I need a moment to prepare everything first. Let's meet there in a while.
All right. We dare not refuse such generosity.
The glare that I did towards Paimon. There we go. Okay, let's go to the meal. And then I might go make a meal. Cause you know, I've still got until like 4 until you know, the Spiral Abyss. And then obviously my commission quests, and I should be able to then hopefully do enough. I'm hoping to maybe I do one of the Archon quests as well. There we go. Why am I sitting so far away from them?
Miss Ganyu, thank you for accepting my invitation. And as for the two of you, your presence is also much appreciated.
Sure. That's so kind of you, Huixin. You went to great lengths to organize this.
Truth be told, apart from thanking you for all the help, there's something I'd like to tell you.
Oh? If there's anything I can help you with, just tell me straight away. No need to hesitate.
Oh, no, I don't really need help. Could you just listen for a bit?
With pleasure.
When I was a little girl, my father used to tell me many stories about you, Miss Ganyu. Even though I have the utmost respect for my father, I always admired how gentle and reliable you are. I've only decided to join the Yuhai Pavilion staff because I've always looked up to you.
I didn't know that you think so highly of me.
However, in reality, working at the Yuhai Pavilion turned out to be an arduous task. I can't compare myself to such an outstanding secretary like you.
Oh.
I often doubt myself as a result.
I disagree. You're a great secretary in your own right.
Thank you. Over the years, I became a mother, too.
Huh? So Uncle Tian is a grandpa!
Influenced by my youthful ideals, she followed my footsteps and came to be a secretary at the Yuhai Pavilion, too. At first, I was worried about her. It's not an easy job, after all. To tell the truth, I'm still unsure if she's capable enough. But after all that happened this time, I've made up my mind to support her choice.
So, what made you change your mind?
The fact that she'll have you, Ms. Ganyu, as her senior colleague. You'll help her, gentle as always, and tell her your mom used to do it like that. It'd be such a beautiful moment.
Oh!
If it's not too much to ask for, she might still need your guidance in 20+ years, too.
Huixin.
Oh!
I never thought that I meant so much to you.
Just like when you showed me my father's trick. Having you as their witness makes people feel at ease.
Witness? It's true that I've witnessed thousands of years of Liyue Harbor's history. All the changes it's gone through, the stories of its people. But I've always regarded it as nothing more than the source of my loneliness. Huixin, you don't know how important those words are to me. You've made me realize that I share another connection with the people of Liyue Harbor. Apart from my contract with Rex Lapis, they rely on me, accept me,
Aww.
and long for me to bear witness to their stories.
Oh, of course. You're irreplaceable to us.
That's right. That's why I can't disappoint you.
Hooray! Ganyu's finally cheered up!
Even if I've really been supplanted, I wish to fight for my place. I won't let you down. I'm going to fulfill my contract and keep working as the Qixing secretary.
You haven't been fired. It's a misunderstanding.
I'll go back and see for myself. I'm afraid that it might have all become a mess during my absence.
It might have been.
No time to waste. Let's get back to work.
Good luck, Miss Ganyu.
We're leaving already? Paimon's still hungry.
You've got like a bottomless pit for a stomach, Paimon. You're always gonna be hungry. It's no surprise. I should have taken a look around while I was in there. It's fine. It'll take less time for me to glide down than for me to climb up. Probably. Maybe.
Baisha, are you okay? Did you fall asleep standing up?
Oh, those poor girls.
Look! Look who's back!
Hello.
You even have enough time for leisure? It seems you three are a suitable replacement for me after all.
Not at all. We've been working for too long. If we didn't take a break...
We wouldn't have survived long enough to see you again, Miss Ganyu.
Miss Ganyu, we've missed you.
That's so kind of you all, given we've only met once.
We've been praying day and night for you to return and take over your duties again.
To us, you're like an adeptus coming down from the world to save all life.
Forget all our envious complaints from before. Just free us from this strenuous work, please.
All right, I see. Please divide the matters at hand into government affairs, business affairs, and civil affairs. Mark out the tasks that haven't been started, and those that are in progress. I'll take care of the rest.
Of course. We'll do it right away.
Oh, finally. We're saved.
Yes. There's one more thing. I'd like to earnestly thank you, Traveler. If it weren't for your companionship, I would still be embroiled in my inner conflict right now.
It's good you pulled yourself together.
To think that I'd gained a human friend outside of work. It makes me happier than I could have imagined. I'd like to repay you when I'm done with the work at hand. What would you say if I accompanied you on one of your trips?
I would love it.
But are you ever done with work, Ganyu?
Let's cross that bridge when we come to it, shall we?
Oh, I love her. She's wonderful. Okay. The thing is, I need so much more. I don't know if whether it's worth doing one by one wishes. Okay, when does this reset? Oh, this also resets soon. Oh my god, hold on. I have a bunch of these. Ooh. 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 Okay. I've been doing a lot of exploring of Sumeru. Not that much, considering, you know, compared to how much I've explored of, Gale Song Hill, I'm so nearly done with it. But like, there's no way in hell I'm going to naturally, I don't know how the hell I would get 100%. I've nearly finished the Highland as well. I've actually done a fair amount of Dragonspire, considering. Okay, let's go after these waypoints because I've been trying to get all the waypoints I am able to in Sumeru. Oh yeah, I was gonna go get food. Let's go do that first because I'm hungry. We'll do that and then we'll walk around Sumeru for a bit because we have a couple of hours until it resets. Everything resets and I can get a bunch of Primo gems and like fates and stuff, and we should be able to do another 10 wishes. I'm going to cry if I don't get CYNO. Which is what gonna happen because I'm not getting CYNO. But yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna be okay. I haven't honestly spent that much time wandering Sumeru. But it's honestly one of the pretty initiatives. That's always unnerves me. I'm gonna have to fight one of those one day. There's no hope in hell you're gonna put those around here and then just not have me fight it. You know? The one issue with getting my wisdom teeth out is that shit gets stuck in there now. There is egg in my gums and I can't get it out. I'm so upset by it. Like, it's so irritating to me because I know it's there. And I can't get rid of it. We're gonna go backwards because I want to end off with Shao. I don't appreciate the sudden change in atmosphere. Either way, I have figured out how to clear a withering zone. After ages of faffing around, I figured it out. Took me longer than I cared to admit, but I did it. Okay. Ooh, we should actually see if... When does the... Hold on. Domain for... It's gonna open up today. So I can also do that. Because I've been wanting to deal with upgrade his talents for a minute. It's so fuzzy. I was gonna say, I'd have been surprised honestly if there wasn't a oh my god, there's two of them here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna find them. I was gonna say I was gonna be surprised if there wasn't one of the Oculuses here.
What's the hurry?
I can't remember what the Samara ones are called. Like Dendroculus or something, probably. So where is this other one? Actually, I really do want to get on with the Archon quest soon. Because I'm kind of curious about Inazuma. You know, what next life-threatening scenario are we gonna get ourselves involved into, you know? There it is. Okay. No. I keep falling further and further away. You know what? We'll come back to this. Oh my god, there's a nut. Why? There's so many just on this in this little area. I'm ignoring it. If I don't pay attention, they shouldn't. We're almost there. Actually, I want the spiral. I really am just like waiting on like 4 o'clock right now. There we go.
Catch the wind.
Okay. Perfect.
What's the hurry?
What did I hear behind me? Oh! Hmm. I've only got a couple teleport points left, waypoints left in Sumeru without it being the desert. Um. Yeah, why not? We have time to spare. And we haven't talked to Dainsliff in a bit. I'm still so bothered by the fact that there's just egg sitting in my mouth. I can't get rid of it. It's like one of those things where you gotta put something like in there that's small.
Seems all the other knights already have their hands.
But like I don't have anything that wouldn't like cause pain or some sort of problem. You know what I mean?
I didn't know you were such a slacker.
Oh my god. Oh my god, there we go. I'm getting out, hold on. I'll be back. I'll give myself a second. I'll be right back. I'm dealing with this. My god. So I just took a look at like how much the videos upload. I started uploading it at like what, 6 o'clock today? Oh, okay. It's like 2:30 in the morning now.
Cool it.
And it's only gotten to like 14%.
Freeze. Cool it. You're open. Freeze. Cool it.
I love the damage difference from when I in fact give them frost. This suddenly deals a fair amount more damage. By the way, I got the egg out and now I feel much happier. I'm much less unhappy. It's just a little frustrating as all, you know. But at least there's no pain. That's all I have to say about it. We get to deal with Dane. Love him. Oh, this looks a bit like the Abyss Order to me. Ooh.
Let it rain.
Oh, so sorry.
What do I do to... Where is... I don't know what this thing's like... Oh my god. Weak spot is. Like, is it the eye? I don't know what to do that will... off me. Ooh. Ow.
Cool it. What's the... Don't get frostbite. Don't push your luck. This moment will be frozen in time. Don't push your luck. Dodge this. Don't push your luck. Freeze.
Let's dance. No escape.
Dodge this. Oh, so sorry.
I'm trying to get it killed. There we go.
Wow. Besides the Abyss Order, Ruin Guards sure are active around here.
Yeah, now.
Seems wherever we find an Abyss Mage hideout, there's often a bunch of Ruin Guards roaming around too. Is that just a coincidence? Or...
There are no coincidences in the world. Everything is the fruit of seeds planted long ago. Just like your appearance in that tavern, time is just waiting for those seeds to sprout.
I only heard about you by chance.
Forget it. Just some needless musings. The connection between the Abyss Order and the Ruin Guards is by no means incidental. Rather, they are both branches that have grown out and up from the same roots below.
branches? Roots?
I think I get it.
What do you mean exactly?
I think I
Both
understand.
originate from an ancient nation that was destroyed 500 years ago. Khaenri'ah.
Khaenri'ah.
Huh? Khaenri'ah? Really? The Abyss Order and Ruin Guards are left over from after the destruction of that nation? Oh. Speaking of Khaenri'ah, that's really a super ancient name. Oh, right. As your guide, Paimon should explain a bit here.
No.
Ago, the nation of Khaenri'ah was...
I know about Khaenri'ah.
Huh?
I have memories of Khaenri'ah.
You have memories of being there. But that nation was destroyed 500 years ago.
Is that so? Well, everyone has their secrets. You did not pry into mine, so I shall not pry into yours. But, if you would like to tell me, I will listen. So, the Khaenri'ah you saw, what was it like?
There's so many Dana and Khaenri'ah. It's worth a shot.
that's the complete story, huh? Paimon thought that you ran into that unknown god first.
I see. So your first memory after coming to this world was being awoken by your sister from within that meteorite.
It seems your sister woke up first. But the question is, how long before you?
And then your sister told you that the destruction of Canria plunged the whole world into chaos, and that you two should leave this world called Tevat?
The destruction of Canria? She said that?
That's what I heard at the time.
That destruction you witnessed, that's history from 500 years ago. It seems the first time you awoke in this world was indeed during that period.
Huh. So your sister must have understood this world better than you did, because she woke up first.
And it was shortly after that that you encountered an unknown god who blocked your path, so you couldn't escape.
Oh, Paimon knows this part really well.
I understand. When you awoke at that time and hurriedly tried to leave for another world, you didn't know anything about Canria. But now, since you have come to gain some understanding of Tevat, you are able to guess that the war you witnessed all those years ago must be the war that ended Canria. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, you must have been flipping through all sorts of books during our adventure these past few months. Before going to Mondstadt, you had just looked at some vague materials. Later, we managed to gather a whole bunch of old books from all around Mondstadt and Liyue, but you told Paimon they were useless. So, the whole time you were just trying to learn more about Canria so you could find your sister?
It's the second most promising lead after looking for the 7.
Oh, yeah. You can travel around the 7 nations to find the 7. But where can you go to find a nation that was destroyed 500 years ago?
I probably know more about Canria than both of you. Canria was a nation without a god. Not because it had a god that died or abandoned them, but because it never had a god to begin with. It was a powerful nation, built purely by humans. An unprecedented, flourishing, and glorious civilization. It was the pride of humankind.
A nation without a god?
Later events unfolded just as you remember. It was all destroyed by gods.
You mean that...
500 years ago, the gods descended upon the world and brought desolation to Canria. The pride of humankind was uprooted and crushed, like a weed removed from the garden of the gods.
Oh.
How could that be? The history books don't say anything about that.
That's horrible.
Yes, well, continuing to discuss the past now will only dampen our spirits.
Yeah, I don't have to hear the expression the gods have for their actions.
Let's keep moving. I will tell you more of what you want to know as we continue our search.
Oh, whatever, I'll make the journey on foot. Not that far. It's far enough, but it's not that far. Canria. Well, I know that Kaya is related to Canria, because I remember he has a voice line like about it. Not like a voice line in game, but like a
I didn't realize what kind we are, huh? You sure know a lot.
you know? So I know he's related. In some fashion. You know what I can't wait for? Until Baizu and I can't remember how you say his name, if I'm gonna be 100% with you. because any name that I see in this game that I can't immediately make a guess of how to pronounce it is often wrong. Either way, I can't wait until those guys are like, because they've been like announced as character things. Which means they're going to be able to be actual characters soon. Playable characters. I can't wait. There are also going to be things I have to... Okay, before we do that... Which artifact is it? This one. There we go. So all of these are maxed out. So we're dealing the most amount of damage we can with this set. Now, the best thing to do is to try and get 5 stars of these. And the next best thing is to deal with her. For the time being, anyway.
Over there! It's more ruin guards and abyss mages. Dane was just saying how these ancient machines are from Conria. So, did Conria have a lot of ruins that needed to be guarded?
What do you know?
Ruin Guard is the name modern people have given these machines. No one called them that 500 years ago. These Ruin Guards were known as Field Tillers by the people of Conria.
Field Tillers?
Oh my god.
Strange name.
They were farming equipment!
It's not like you think. Field Tiller was just a code name. The people of Conria like to give code names to their weapons.
Okay, I was gonna
Land
say.
is not to be tilled with farming tools, but rather is to be fought for with steel and blood. This is how the Field Tiller came about.
Oh.
Fought for with steel and blood? Well, that's an interesting way of understanding tilling. Paimon doesn't think it's a very positive interpretation.
After the destruction of Conria, these masterless field tillers went completely out of control. They wandered aimlessly over the centuries, gradually spreading to every corner of Teyvat. Perhaps resonating with the sorrow of other civilizations lost to time, they found their way to various ruins across the land, where they lie dormant.
That sounds so sad.
Wandering aimlessly for 500 years.
Once you understand more, those details won't mean much to you. But no matter their past, all that remains of them now is the danger they pose. So destroy them all.
I'll protect us.
Cool it! Freeze! This moment will be frozen in time. Cool it! Time to fight.
Ready, steady, go! Let the show be.
Don't get frostbite. Dodge this.
Freeze.
Let it rain.
What's the hurry?
Will be frozen in time. Push your.
Huh.
Freeze.
I like the amount of lore that this world has.
Cool it.
Everything connects in some way or another.
Dodge this.
Huh? This abyss base dropped a talisman. Could it be a communication of some kind?
This talisman seems connected to the Abyss Herald. But why would an Abyss Mage be carrying it?
Huh.
Perhaps it really does contain information about their operation.
But Paimon can't read the writing on it. Is that the script of Conria?
Engulf the faith of an enemy in flame, and bring glory to Her Highness the Princess.
What? Is that what it says?
Loom of Fate initial operation. The Abyss, seem to be carrying out a large operation. The keyword here is Loom of Fate.
Huh.
It seems like they are still launching the operation, or rather, are still conducting preliminary tests.
Loom of Fate? What's that? Is it literally a fate-weaving machine?
Is it related to the inverted statue?
From the horrible feeling Paimon's been getting, those eerie ruins are super likely to be related to this fate-weaving operation. So, Dane, what message does this talisman contain?
I'm reading it now. An ambitious operation. But some parts are difficult to understand.
How so?
In short, the first phase of the plan is related to Osile, Overlord of the Vortex.
Osile?
The Overlord of the Vortex? You mean that god in the ocean?
We weren't able to destroy it last time.
What do they want with Osile?
Oh yeah, could it be the same as with Dvalin?
I know of your past heroics regarding Dvalin, and I also know of the Abyss Order's role in the Storm Terror incident. Though you may not have been aware of it at the time, you were thwarting an Abyss Order operation similar to this one.
Last time it was Venti's old friend. This time it's a huge ancient god. The Abyss Order keeps setting their sights higher and higher. Will the Abyss Order use their lies and dark magic to corrupt Osile?
I don't think they would need to. Osile will just kill anyway.
From the contents of the talisman, this operation goes one step further.
Oh god.
They won't just corrupt Osile's mind. They also plan to use the ancient technology behind the field tillers to completely transform Osile's body.
Oh!
Is that even possible? So wait, the Abyss Order wants to make some sort of cybernetic squid god of mass destruction?
That sounds about right. That sounds about what we're getting from this.
Very few people today truly understand the civilization of Conria. Though, of course, the accuracy of that understanding itself is difficult to judge. Only the Abyss Order has consistently sought out the remnants of Conria. Despite being far from human, they seek out this lost human civilization quite persistently. The talisman's message states that they will use the defiled statue as a base, attaching Osile's limbs to construct a mechanized god. And the new core that shall replace the orb usually held by the Statue of the Seven is the eye of the very first field tiller.
The eye of the very first field tiller? Oh, Paimon gets it! sages are looking for the special eye, right?
It would seem so.
They haven't found it yet. We still have time.
This whole thing keeps getting more complicated. But basically, it all has to do with that eerie statue of the Seven we saw, right?
Yes. According to the talisman, the eye should be placed in the hands of the defiled statue, thereby imbuing the newly born god with the power to topple the divine thrones of Celestia.
Topple the divine thrones?
Oh boy. The Abyss Order sure isn't holding back with this plan. Since no one knows where the first field tiller is, how about we take the information about the statue as the starting point for our investigation?
It looked like the Animo Archon, so...
Yeah, that tone-deaf bard is too difficult to track down anyway. Let's go to the cathedral
Okay, it was...
ask around. Maybe we'll learn something.
I mean, is he that difficult?
Huh? What's the matter, Dane?
Nothing. Let's get moving.
What's he got up with the cathedral? Nearing at the power of gods. My god, that is an achievement and a half, huh? Sharp strength. I've never been more upset by this. It's an hour beforehand. I don't know. Okay. We have half an hour before it all resets. So we have half an hour to get this Archon quest done. No. I don't know the likeliness of that, I'm gonna be honest. It fully depends on how long this quest is.
A huge statue. A grandiose cathedral. The people of Mondstadt clearly spent a great deal of resources and energy to construct them. But how aware of this was the Animo Archon on receiving this gift? And how much did he give back in return?
Faith doesn't ask for anything in return, though. Does it?
As long as the gods have a clear conscience about it all, there's nothing I can say about it.
Shh! We're about to enter the cathedral! Don't say anything bad about the Animo Archon! And actually, the Animo Archon is... never mind!
I never specifically said I would enter the cathedral. I'll leave you two to mingle with the sisters.
Huh?
You've done everything else together.
You are the honorary knight of Mondstadt. They will surely allow you to poke into these affairs with their utmost trust. Having me tag along would only make them suspicious.
Because they don't know you?
Correct. And just as our little friend said, I might say something bad about the church at any time. When a non-believer steps onto holy ground, the result is never pretty. I have never received the favor of the gods in the past. I don't see any reason I would need it now, or in the future either. That's enough about that. While we've been chit-chatting, the Abyss Order continues to act.
Okay, then we'll just go in ourselves and ask around.
Yeah, as normal.
I should warn you about one thing. Don't go mentioning the defiled statue inside the cathedral. The Church of Favonius wouldn't ignore the matter of the statue. But if they rashly tried anything against the Abyss Order, it would only ruin whatever element of surprise we may have. Also, meddling in the affairs of the Abyss usually doesn't end well for anyone.
That's also fair. Okay. Let's go talk to Barbara, shall we? See how likely she is to willingly discuss something with us. Considering the last time that we had something from here, we broke it, but it's okay. Barbara!
Honorary Knight. Hi, how have you been? Do you need anything today?
Yes, actually.
But I should first make it clear that if you need to borrow the Holy Lyre to Hermel again, we cannot oblige.
It seems she hasn't realized it's just an illusion. Oh, we're here to ask some questions about something. Barbara, have you heard about the first field tiller?
What's that? Field tiller. What does it do?
It's a ruin guide.
Of course you wouldn't know anything about that. Okay, next question. Has the church ever lost a statue of the Seven?
Huh? You're here to ask about that old story? Well, I didn't expect that. That was such a long time ago, barely anyone mentions it nowadays. A long time ago, there was indeed one statue of the Seven that disappeared one night without a trace. Nearly every member of the church joined the search for it, but it was never found. In the church's records, as you might assume, this incident has been called the Lost Statue of the Seven.
Of course!
Of course?
Nothing? So do you have any other clues? Paimon means any other strange story?
Why do we let Paimon talk? Why don't we talk?
Sorry, Barbara, but we can't tell you about the statue we saw just yet. Like Dane said outside, it's for your own good.
Other strange stories? I'm not sure. Let me think about what other unusual incidents are in the church's records. Oh, the Tyrant's Final Fury? No, that's from another time. Probably unrelated.
The Tyrant's Final Fury?
Oh, this refers to a time of great danger that engulfed Old Mondstadt, the place now known as Storm Terror's lair. Many, many years ago, there was a time when balls of fire would rain from the sky whenever anyone approached Old Mondstadt.
No.
Balls of fire raining from the sky? How terrifying!
My god.
People at that time believed it was a curse laid down by the god of storms, so they referred to it as the Tyrant's Final Fury. This strange phenomenon continued for about a year. No one was ever able to solve it. It just gradually ceased on its own.
It's not necessarily related to the Tyrant then, I guess.
Right. Later, the theory of the Tyrant's Final Fury became less probable in the eyes of the church. Common reasoning dictates that the god of storms wouldn't shoot fireballs.
That's also true.
Perhaps it was something else that caused the disaster. Anyway, this incident might not be related to the lost statue of the Seven, but I just can't think of any other strange incidents that might be.
It's okay. Thanks anyway!
There's that pointless word, thank you, again. I can never get used to hearing it.
Oh, hello.
Rosaria, it's you.
If you're looking for the Knights of Favonius, they're busy with those monsters again.
We're not.
Those monsters?
Those monsters that tried to attack Mondstadt last time during the Storm Terror incident?
The Hilichurl?
That the Abyss Order?
Oh, the Abyss Order.
At it again?
Indeed. They're gathering in Wolvendom, causing great unrest among the wolves.
Oh, come on
Could
now.
it be that the Abyss Order is targeting the spirit of Lupus Boreas? As for what purpose, I can't say for certain.
Oh.
Master Jean has already headed off to Wolvendom. I must also begin to make a move myself.
Then I will go as well.
Master Jean said you should stay at the church and continue your work with the clergy.
But you're also a member of the clergy.
I'll go to help as well.
Right. We'll go give Master Jean a hand.
Oh, okay. If the Honorary Knight will be there, then... But please, everyone, be careful. May the Animal Archon protect you all.
Funny enough, he does, in a way, does still continue to protect us. Because we do get saved by an Animo vision holder. You know, we've been saved by one in both nations we've been in so far. And apparently that trend continues throughout the other nations. I'm just curious to see who that would be in Azuma and Sumeru. Just interesting.
I see. Has the Abyss Order already launched a new operation? This could very well have something to do with the defiled statue. We should go as well.
But what is the Abyss Order going to Wolvendom for anyway? Are they looking to do the same as they did with Dvalin? Not again!
The Abyss Order is
not likely.
so annoying.
Unlike Osial, who was just suppressed, Andreas died long ago. Today, it is just his spirit that stands guard over Wolvendom. The Abyss Herald may just be targeting the spirit of Andreas in an attempt to garner some information from one of the Animo Archon's old companions.
There we go. Let's go to Wolvendom. Do you think Razor will be there? Considering it's dealing with the wolves, I wonder. I wonder.
Let's dance. The Abyss Order!
Don't underestimate the enemy. Let's take them now.
I always want to deal with these guys. Get rid of them. Though they are a nuisance. I hate their shields.
I'm getting tired of this game.
Look, Barbara, you came in spirit.
Freeze. Dodge this.
Oh my god, can I?
Freeze.
There we go.
There sure are a lot of enemies around here.
The closer we get to the target, the more enemies there are. Fits the Abyss Order's style.
We should hurry up and find Lupus Boris.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm not going any further.
Oh?
Why not? Is it because you're afraid of fluffy animals?
That's probably not it, Paimon.
It has nothing to do with wolves. It's because Boreas was an ancient god, yet he willingly became a servant of the Seven. I cannot possibly agree with his actions. I don't desire any interaction with him. Besides, you're the one people like. I'm less likable.
You really despise the Seven, huh?
There's nothing special about gods anyway. It's just my opinion, but a word of advice. Always be on your guard when around gods. You shouldn't place too much trust in them. But at the same time, don't go too far in the opposite direction. Don't go trying to overthrow them or hunt them down, even if the god in question is your sworn enemy.
Don't trust them and don't hunt them. That's some awkward advice. Does Dane hate the Seven or is he protecting them?
I think it's more about protecting ourselves, because hunting down gods seems like a bad idea. Why is your opinion so contradictory?
Lest I repeat the failings of my forebears, I will tell you one final fact.
Huh? What fact?
Let him talk, Paimon!
The destruction of the nation of Canria by the gods is the reason the Abyss Order now seeks to destroy the nations watched over by the Seven. Well, enough chit-chat. We should get back to business. I will go take care of the remaining Abyss Order members in the area. Try and keep your visit with Boreas brief.
Boreas.
Afterward, let's meet at the entrance to Wolvendom.
Got it.
There he goes.
Interesting.
Strange man.
I can kind of see where he's coming from.
Yeah, that's true. You also keep your guard up against unfamiliar gods. At the Rite of Dissension in Liyue, your decision was very similar to what Dane would do.
When there's a lack of trust, it's best to just avoid the situation entirely.
Not the easiest situation.
No.
Honorary Knight, Paimon, what are you two doing here?
Oh, Master Jean! So glad we found you. Rosaria told us that you came here to fight the Abyss Order, so we came to help.
Then your help is greatly appreciated. The Abyss Order's sudden offensive is very strange. They have surrounded Wolvendom. I am preparing to send out some knights to fight back. I just scouted out all of Wolvendom, but I did not see you. Rosaria told me that the Abyss Order is going after Boreas. But the Abyss Order and Boreas... what is the connection between them?
They just like to cause trouble. Do they really need a reason? The Abyss Order already went after Dvalin. It's not too surprising that they would also go after another one of the Animal Archon's buddies.
That is true. Regardless, whether the reason behind the present threat is clear or not, I will handle the situation. Honorary Knight, please go and check if Lupus Boreas is in any danger.
Got it.
This god's spirit. He does not often see people, but I hear that you have met him before. Maybe it is best that you are also the one to meet him this time.
Yeah, I'll do it. I've got this.
Okay, be careful. Thank you for your help, Honorary Knight of Favonius.
I got it. Let's go. Lupus Boreas. Let's go see him. I fought him. I did actually fight him again at one point. You know, do the training with him. Just because I was curious. Okay. Ooh, that's not good.
Look! Over there, it's Razor! And the Abyss Herald!
You, not welcome here!
So, the wolf's wretched spirit likes to raise wild pups now. You claim to be a guardian, yet your once sharp claws have clearly dulled since your days of godly glory. If you serve us, we can restore your divine powers you once held in
Why are we letting him talk?
What the heck is this ceremony? He looks like he's in a lot of pain. Oh no! Is this the same thing they did to corrupt Dvalin's mind?
Wolves never surrender. But this can't go on.
Time for another round with the Abyss Herald.
No matter how many times you resist us, your efforts are all in vain.
No, we're gonna fucking punt you.
I'll protect us.
This moment will be frozen in time.
I think it's really amusing to just freeze them.
Freeze!
Get him! No one escapes my sight!
Cool it!
Let's dance.
That is not who I meant to.
Luck.
Oh my god. Get off me.
Don't get frostbite. What's the hurry?
God damn it. I hate.
Dodge this.
Oh my god, you are a nuisance. Fuck off.
Cool it. Spring forth. Dodge this. Oh, so sorry.
Let the show begin.
Freeze.
Come on. I'm trying to break his...
I'll race you there.
Rise once again.
I find it really funny when they just die like that. Just disappear. Clearly I think he was meant to be the final enemy, but
The ceremony was interrupted. How fortunate for you. How does an old spirit have such determined will? No matter. This is but a small unforeseen variable. Our grand scheme will not be affected.
It disappeared again.
at least we stopped it this time.
You came just in time.
Human Lupercal. I am ashamed that you must see me in my present state.
It's okay.
But still, the Abyss Herald underestimated my strength.
Lupus Boreas never refuses trial, but scary outsider, not respect trial rules. I too didn't see the trap.
Wait, so you mean the Abyss Order had everything prepared to corrupt Lupus Boreas' mind, then lured him out under the pretense of challenging him in a trial?
Yeah, it's not your fault, Razor.
Thank you. In the future, my claws must get sharper. You smelled danger and came here?
No, we heard about the danger. Paimon's nose doesn't even know what danger smells like. Besides coming to help, we actually have something to ask you about too. Excuse us, Mr. Wolf God.
You know his name.
About the first field tiller?
I pay no heed to the contraptions of humans. I know not what this field tiller is. Though there was indeed one human-made machine that I can never forget.
Oh?
It entered into my proving ground by accident, and I mistook it for a challenger. But it could not think, only fight. It was designed as a pure killing machine from top to bottom. I eventually damaged it greatly with one of my attacks. Before it fell to the ground, it fled the proving ground.
By the sounds of it, it's possible that could have been the very first field tiller, right?
Could it shoot missiles?
Missiles? I do not know this strange word. As I said, I pay no heed to the contraptions of humans. It could spin, leap high into the air, and even shoot fireballs. Although no match for a god,
That
it
sounds...
was stronger than even many who wield visions.
That's possible then.
Fireballs? Hey, didn't we hear this somewhere else recently as well? Anyway, this pretty much proves that the first field tiller came to Mondstadt, doesn't it?
Not necessarily, but it's a good...
The first one was way stronger than the mass-produced ruin guards that came after. But in this story, it was damaged at the proving ground while fighting the Wolf of the North.
Don't know. But did we help?
I would say so, yeah.
Yes, you were a big help. Thanks. We need to keep investigating something super important. The Abyss Herald may have left, but the Abyss's forces are still attacking. You two be careful.
Yes, I smell more danger. Bigger danger.
I wonder what danger smells like.
You too. Also, be careful.
What does danger smell like?
Good intel. Quick, let's go tell Dane.
What does danger smell like? Oh, he's right here. Hello.
Dane, there you are. Did you see Master Jean?
I saw her, but purposely avoided her. As both the Lion Fang Knight and acting Grand Master, she naturally would have some reservations towards me.
I resonate with him so much with with certain aspects of him, just seeing people but then purposely ignoring them and like, oh, hiding. That's so what I would do. I know he has obviously reasons why he doesn't show up, but like, God, I feel for you, dude.
If I'm not careful, one day I may find myself becoming the object of one of her investigations. But back to the matter at hand. I defeated some of the Abyss forces, but wasn't able to gather any information. Did you have more success?
We did.
I see. Well then, we can more or less figure out where the first field tiller ended up.
Huh? Really? Just from the Lupus Boreas story?
That information combined with a more comprehensive analysis. For example, the old story you told me you heard in the cathedral.
The Tyrant's Final Fury?
Exactly. The strange story told to you by that young sister, long mistaken to be a curse rained down by a deceased tyrant.
Oh! Wouldn't have seen the fireballs for what they were!
Gets it? So the Tyrant's Final Fury was really just missiles fired from the field tiller after it ran from Wolvendom. After it was damaged in the fight with the Wolf of the North, it must have wandered into the ruins of Old Mondstadt and stayed there. Then, whenever anyone got close, pew, pew, boom! It would fire a ton of missiles at them. Until one day, it finally broke down for good, and the fireballs stopped raining from the sky.
Yeah, I got it, Paimon.
Then, the people of Mondstadt hadn't seen many ruin guards before, so they came to interpret it as the Tyrant's Final Fury.
It looks like we need to make a trip to Storm Terror's lair and comb the entire area.
No need.
What do you mean?
I remember.
You mean... Oh, Paimon remembers too! We saw that abandoned ruin guard sitting atop the tower when we went there before. Can't forget something like that.
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot. Oh. Right. I did see that.
This is it, right? Okay then, use your elemental sight to look for the eye.
I mean, wouldn't it have been bigger then?
Ooh, so what did you see?
Nothing. It's not the right one.
Huh? Nothing? Oh, but Paimon was so excited.
Well, it's clearly not this one, right?
What's going on? Are you sure you did it right?
I don't think it's a...
requires another method.
Are you sure it's this one? Wouldn't it have been bigger?
Using elemental sight on a field tiller is of no use because it is not powered by the elements. Let me give it a try.
Wait. Oh. What are you doing?
And done.
Oh, what did you do?
The very thing the Abyss Herald has been seeking all along. The eye of the first field tiller. All of the ruin guards today are just replicas of this machine. As the prototype, its combat capability was unrestricted.
Just gonna let this sit in front of you?
Oh, Paimon doesn't know that word.
No, Paimon.
Term from Conria?
As
Paimon.
the Abyss Order has surmised, if this eye is placed in the hands of the defiled statue, and if the limbs of Osial, Overlord of the Vortex, are attached to the statue, there you have a mechanized god. And this newly born god will have the power to topple the divine thrones of Celestia.
What an extreme and dangerous operation.
Yes.
Then, what should we do with this eye?
What do we do with it? That's a good question. Because I don't think we should... I don't know. Part of me doesn't think the church should be given it. Because I'm like... I don't know how good they are at protecting it. But the same... Because they're giving them... I don't know. Because I don't think hiding it would work either. Because, like, how can you be sure that no one will find it? Right? I don't know. I don't think either of these options are the right one, if I'm gonna be honest, but I'd prefer the church.
No. I'll guard it myself.
Huh? You? Dane? You won't go and do anything crazy with it, will you?
You may doubt me if you wish, but I must ensure it does not fall into the wrong hands.
How can you...
No matter where we may hide it, they will find it. And as for the Church of Favonius, well, you know I don't trust them.
Oh, right.
But our work isn't done yet. To avoid any further repercussions, we must also take care of that defiled statue.
By doing what exactly?
We can't have the church get involved. Let's handle it ourselves. As for what I mean by take care of it, naturally I mean to completely destroy it.
Destroy it? That's a statue of the Seven! As well as being a really important cultural relic, they're actually divine too! Well, good thing we didn't tell Barbara earlier. Otherwise she'd be going completely bonkers right now!
Do the Seven really expect me to help them look after what belongs to them? Let's go back to those ruins and destroy the inverted statue. If we are lucky, we will also run into that Abyss Herald.
God, I
I'll
hope
make sure it doesn't get away this time.
Venti doesn't feel this. Please tell me he won't get upset at us for doing this. I'm so sorry. Well, it'll reset either way. I'm sorry. Well, that is the best way to ensure that nothing happens, right? If you give the thing to the person who doesn't want anything to happen, have him protect it, and then destroy the one thing that they were trying to use. It is the best outcome. It is the best choice for this. It's not like I appreciate it, but what can you do? What can you do? Okay, let's search for it.
So after all that running around, we end up right back here again. Look at us. We barely escaped this place last time, and now we're strolling right back in.
Yep.
Gee, surely we must be some of the bravest adventurers in all of Teyvat. That or the stupidest.
I think it's a mix of both.
Look at that creepy statue. We just need to follow the path we used to escape last time. That should take us right to it. Yep, that'll work. Let's go, and remember to be on your guard.
Oh my god. Oh god, okay. Well, that's just rude. Why don't they let you pull your thing out afterwards? It's just you get caught, you have to spam, and then you die. Isn't that quite rude? Okay. Okay. Well, we made it.
Looks like we're here. An eerie, lifeless, dark chamber. I understand the evil aura you were describing earlier.
Oh, such a scary place.
Be careful to not be overwhelmed by the power of the defiled statue. The Abyss Herald. It's here.
You sense correctly. You are just as vexatious as ever, Dainsliff, enemy of the Abyss. I sense your soul is stained by terrible bloodshed, perhaps from your darkest nightmares, unless... Oh, and something far more dangerous. You reek of a corruption familiar to me.
Huh?
Then we are the same. We're both dangerous. But dangers from outside of the Abyss Order must be caught and caged.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It is your words that forever reek of corruption. Time to silence you!
Ooh.
Let's dance.
This is my favorite thing to do. I find it so funny just to freeze this massive enemy. It's just... Nope. Like, shush.
Freeze.
Like... Oh, hello.
Let the show begin.
Cool it. Frostbite.
luck.
Do not do it.
Freeze. Cool it. This moment will be frozen in time. Dodge this.
I wonder.
The end is nigh.
Let it rain.
Dodge this. Don't get frostbite.
My god. Okay, let's get rid of this.
Don't push your luck.
I'll protect us. Come on. We can do it.
Dodge this. All life will perish.
Don't push your luck. Cool it.
Mom, there we go.
Will be frozen in time. Freeze.
Come on.
Dodge this.
I'm basically doing no damage to this fucker. Hold on. There we go. Ooh! Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait.
Princess.
Hey! Could that be?
Lumine?
Ether.
I finally found. This is not a good situation.
Wait! She just blocked an attack against the Abyss Herald! Your sister and the Abyss?
Ether, why are you with Dane?
What? We've been separated for so long.
Your sister knows Dane?
Lumine, we meet again.
What?
What's going on here? Dane knows her too?
You shouldn't team up with this man.
You teaming up with the Abyss?
He is my enemy.
The Abyss is mine. Hold on a second.
But it must be said. Don't try to stop me. Don't try to stop the Abyss.
Oh no, I will. I don't
That
give a
man,
fuck.
Dainsleif was the Twilight Sword, one of the royal guards of the final dynasty of Conria.
500 years ago, he failed to prevent the destruction of Conria. A curse of immortality was laid upon him to forever wander the wilderness, while he watched the people he was supposed to protect turn into monsters of the abyss.
You're saying Dane is from Conria? The same Conria that was destroyed 500 years ago? And you said the people turned into monsters? You're trying to tell Paimon that the Abyss Order is not only related to Conria, but is actually the people of Conria themselves?
I still don't like them.
And the whole thing about Dane being your enemy...
You can let's go home.
I'm so confused.
Why are you doing this?
Home.
Let's go home.
Yes, of course. Home is wherever we are together.
I'm not joining you if that's what you're trying
But
to
I
swing
cannot
for.
go with you to the next world to find a new home. At least, not yet. Until the Abyss has engulfed the thrones, my war with Destiny will see no end.
Destiny?
Listen to me, Ether. I have already traveled through this world once. Once you reach the end of your journey as I did, you will see for yourself the true nature of this world. So we'll meet again. Though we need not rush, brother. I have more than enough time to wait for you. We have always had enough time.
Oh, he only goes through it. And Dane went through.
Left. Oh, don't be too sad. We'll find them again. Look on the bright side. At least we got some really useful information.
Alright, Paimon. There is hope.
That's right. At least now, as well as the Seven, Dane is also a key part of finding your sibling too, right?
Once we get to Inazuma, we should keep that in mind as we look for more clues.
That's right. By the way, what they said just now is all pretty confusing. Did you understand it at all?
I pretty much got it.
Oh, well then, let's go over it again. First off, that Abyss Herald called your sister Princess. It seems like your sister is leading the Abyss Order. Even the Abyss Herald answers to her. Still, we don't know for sure if she's the highest ranking leader in the organization.
So, hold on. Give me a second. So, she made mention of the fact that she's already gone through this world once. Part of me feels like that's kind of in correlation to the fact that you can choose which twin. Right? At the beginning, you choose which twin. So what if she is a version of the Traveler in which you picked her, she went through it, you reached the end, you relearn the truth of the world, and then when you play Aether and you go through, it's that version of Lumine, the Lumine that has seen the entire, everything that's going on, and is now at the end and is now fighting against you this whole time. Because she understands the truth of this world. I'm gonna be real, I feel like I'm going to be stubborn and actively disagree with her belief on this. Because I don't like being wrong, so who knows? We'll figure out.
Your sister said that she wants to engulf the thrones and go to war with Destiny. What the heck does that mean? Could it be that she wants to destroy the Seven and the Seven Nations? Next thing, turns out the Abyss Order monsters are really what the people of Conria turned into after their nation was destroyed. This story is just plain terrifying.
If anything.
From Conria too. He witnessed its destruction 500 years ago. But he didn't turn into a monster. And now he's fighting the Abyss Order. So that's why your sister said that Dane is her enemy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if the monsters of the Abyss are the same people that Dane protected all those years ago, then why is he enemies with the Abyss Order now?
My only thought would be that the Abyss Order is causing problems. It's hurting the people that are alive now. The fact is, they were alive 500 years ago. They need to be put to rest. Given that sort of like rest and peace, who would want to be alive for that long, tortured as something that they were not before? They aren't the same people. You can't tell me they are. The fact is, even if they were the people, even if they are, they're not really. Not in spirit, anyway. And they're hurting the people who are alive now. I don't think your fucking revenge is worth the lives of the people who are alive now. The generation that lives now, the generations that live now, are not worth the lives of a few people who were going to be dead at this point anyway.
Also, how come, after all this time we spent searching for your sister, it turns out she's on the side of the Abyss? What's up with that?
We have many new questions, but few answers.
Yeah, you're right. Then, we can't let ourselves get down about it now. Our journey's not over yet. Let's get a move on. Time to leave this terrible dark
Are we not
place
going to destroy
and
that?
get back to the surface where the sun shines bright. If your sister wants you to reach the end of your journey, well then, show her what you're made of. Come on, traveler. Let's go.
Thank you, Paimon. God, Paimon, you're the best. God, I'm too invested into the story that actually I'm genuinely thinking about it, and it made my heart hurt. Like, I already had suspicions, right? I already kind of knew, but just seeing it and hearing it in front of me just makes my heart hurt. Like, I would be so upset if that was my sister. If that was my sister, and I'd spent all that time looking for her and she just walked away. Chose that the mission that she wanted to do was more important, that she didn't even choose to explain to me. She just chose that what she was doing was right and that she didn't care about my feelings. But I would feel so hurt by that and confused. Like, I would be so upset if that was my sister. So I love my sister, I do. I have 2 siblings, a sister and a brother. But the fact is I'm closest in age to my sister. And honestly, out of the 2 of them, it would be my sister, not my brother, who would be like that. She's the one that has a very different opinion to me, and like, I feel like she's a very different person. Not different opinion necessarily, but different opinions on some things. Okay. God, that actually make me feel bad. I don't like that. Okay, how many are we at? We're at 10. Okay. CYNO, come home. Come home. Please? Wait, are you actually coming home? Please. Wait, because I lost the last one. I should have him. I have... Oh, and I got Bennett. Hey, buddy. I have him. Well, let's buy these two, and then we may as well do this, because this is... Then we can start earning up for this. So we can get his weapon. Because we have 20 days. Because it's the first day of Banner, and I got him. So if I can get his weapon, then we can try and wish for him again. Because then we could maybe try and get his constellation. Because I don't care too much about trying to go for these characters and waiting. I may, because I'm like, I may as well. Okay. Enhance, refine. Because I'm pretty sure this was one of the best, one of the best normal weapons you can get for Barbara. Because, especially as one that is, like, she's just not, I'm not attacking with her. So it's one of the better ones for her. Okay, so he's a gilded. So I have that on... Now I can't remember. What is the set that I was looking for? Was it Gilded Dreams that I was going for? Or was it Deepwood Memories that I'm going for him? Okay. We're going to equip this, I'm sorry. I'll hide them. You're useful, and I will probably swap to you at some point, but when it comes down to it, an Electro character is going to be more useful. In my opinion, anyway. Now, I don't have, that would be a good... Either way, we don't have any more of the Gilded Dream set. So we might have to... We're gonna have to deal with that, but... Let's see. We should be able to... Yeah. I don't know whether we'll have the materials to ascend him. Oh, we do! Perfect!
I can feel new power surging within me. A testament to my growth.
Well, we're not going to have what it needs because I need to fight Electro stuff, which I haven't done. But we're quickly getting him up because I actually do want to use him as a... I don't know whether he probably still won't be like a main of mine, but I do want to use him as a character. Now, the question is, where do I get Gilded Dream again? Yeah. Well, I'm happy. I'm pretty satisfied. Now, if I remember correctly, this is Gilded Dreams? Yeah. Okay, let's go to the Spiral Abyss. That's one of the other things. I still haven't gotten that one. Animo. Treasures from the Abyss Corridor can be only obtained once. Oh! Interesting. Oh, I see. So the treasures are something I can't just keep doing. Okay, I see. I didn't read that ever. Okay. Well, while we're here, let's see. How the hell do I... If I climb that tree, is it possible that I could... Yeah, okay. There we go. We can get a Nemo Oculus. Then let's head over to Windrise and go from there. So we may as well do our dailies then, shall we? Worship the statue. Let's offer up this because I'm getting close. I feel like I've gotten most of the Nemo Oculuses then, right? After this, then we can start grinding to get the stuff we need for CYNO. Which means we can continue doing like story quest stuff. I was planning on I was gonna do a stream like the other day, but I had to cancel it because my stream wasn't working. I could just do story quest stuff then, and Archon quests. We can do some Archon questing for the first time before this, obviously, which is honestly was so startling. I was not expecting to see my sister. Did you see that danger just hovering over my head there? Yeah, so did I. I'm trying to, like, when I voice Aether on any part, I try to actually put in... I've been trying to put in, like, the emotion. And trying to feel like how I would feel. Given the scenario. And trying to mimic the voice as much as I can. Well, not mimic it, just trying to actually act it out. You know? Because I may as well. So I would love to, because it's the thing, I do want to get into like voice acting. I'm probably gonna have to do voice acting for my my lore video, so I'm like, it's like that kind of thing. It's the same sort of thing. It's yeah, leave it to me. It's the same thing that happens. I've done this quest a couple of times. Oh, you need more? How many do you need? The bag.
So sorry.
Let's dance.
Dodge this.
No one escapes my...
Don't push your butt. Cool it. This moment will be frozen in time.
Okay. We can also deal with Git, because it's not gonna let me until this guy's dead. Yeah, certainly. I can do that for you. I don't know why you can't. Let me run off into the distance like an idiot. Don't mind me. Wee. A few things I need to do then. Because I was also thinking that we need to upgrade the talents for Kaya. And that is today. Because the domain's open. So we need to do that first, really, and get as many of those as I'm willing to get done. You know, get those done. Because preferably...
What's the hurry?
Dodge this. Don't get frostbite. Cool it.
Because I should have quite a few things from the treasure hoarders, right? Because I fought quite a few recently, so I should have a few, so I should be able to at least get 1 or 2 levels up. I'm thinking.
Let the show begin.
Germinate! Oh, so soft. Cool it. What's the hurry?
No escape.
Oh, for God's sake.
Go, go, Barret Bunny.
Dodge this. This moment will be frozen in time.
Okay. I need to look at what I need exactly to be able to upgrade any of my talents for Kaya, because, you know. Because we could do any of the crafting right now if there's anything I can get close to. Because obviously upgrading this would be the best, which require me to go and fight the Wolf of the North, which I don't honestly want to do right at the moment. Okay, so I can do that, I just need that, but I need more, so it's the silver. What? Okay. Out of curiosity, CYNO, your talents. It doesn't allow me to look until I ascend you again. Right. You're that thing. Okay, we can go fight that. I wonder. No, I was wondering if we had any of the... Oh, we only have one of them. Okay. I was wondering if we had any electro things. Apparently not.
Add Astra.
Are they all just like time reducing? So now it's going to be all towards that. Is it teaching us the ballad? I don't remember. What one is it for you? Hey. It is. Okay. I should have checked. How many do we need? Because we can only currently level up one of them. So we need another 5. 5 and then 4. If I wanted to deal with this, we'd need 4 of the golden ones.
All the other night.
4 or 5. Okay. Well, since we can't get the gold one because we're not quite at that level yet, let's do the easy one and go from there. Right, I should have... Yep, leave. Hold on. I should have swapped out the characters. We can try... We could attempt CYNO in this, but honestly, it's probably not a good idea. I haven't not set him up at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap out me for... Lisa.
Are you taking me out?
And for her.
Oh yeah, rock on!
If we can get CYNO a weapon and like artifacts and stuff, we could. We could bring him out for these sort of things. We could replace Amber with him now.
Surrendering the beat.
Feel the beat!
You know, I realized I don't really need it. Because he deals so much damage against the slimes. Because they've got the cryo effect. So I deal better damage against them.
Oh, so sorry.
Shred till I'm dead!
Okay. It's very funny that learning about the history about what these guys are does not change my opinion on how much I fucking hate them. Give me... Ah!
Don't get frostbite.
We die! I don't have any motivation to the grinding at the moment. I've just been doing all of this, my brain's just like... "Meh." Okay, let me see. God, that was the quest? That was the quest that I needed to do. My prerequisite quest was dealing with Dainsleif. I wonder what was going on in Dainsleif that I had to have that. What? I guess it's knowing about my sister. Guessing he might have something. He might say something about it, which means I have to, obviously. Whatever. And obviously, I think a lot of these are probably going to be actually meeting them, because I know who she is. Like, I know who she is, right? I kind of know who she is. I roughly know who he is. Roughly, I've seen her. Roughly know who he is. Roughly know these two. Don't really know her. Know who she is. I know him, and she's new, so. Like, I have a vague knowledge of, like, all of the of a lot of the characters. Not all of them, because I don't really know her. But, like, I have a vague understanding of who all the characters are, right? So I'm not fussy about it. Like, I could unlock all of this right now. You know what? Screw it. There we go. So, talk to Master Jean, check near Wangshu Inn, which means we're not going to be able to go near there unless we want to start a quest. Go to Wuwang Hill, go to the Venturers. Oh god. So, stay away from Liwei. It's basically what that is stay away from Liwei if you don't want to. I'm aware. So yeah, it's literally stay away from Liwei, otherwise you might start a quest. I may have made a mistake with that. Either way. Luckily all that's in there. So we could do one of them. I was gonna do you there. So I mean, this one is the one we're going to do first, because that's the only one that's in Mondstadt, right? And that was the one I wanted to do first, and then we need to do this one, because that's Hutao. And then we can go Shao and then Zhongli, I guess. Or we can go Zhongli and then Shao. It really doesn't matter. But we'll go down the list and we'll get through them all, right? Do we want to do them tonight though? Because we could leave a lot of this till tomorrow and we could do it for a long stream. We could go through Eula and maybe Hutao, and then we could leave Shao and Zhongli as our kind of like stream ones. Maybe I'll decide in a minute. Take a moment break and then we'll decide, because it's like 5 o'clock in the morning pretty much. So I need to decide whether this is worth doing, because I've been here for like 3.5 hours just playing Genshin, which is about the length of, it's not quite the length of a stream, but it's about the length of a stream for me playing Genshin.